when you thought about your motivations, if you could be a good fit for UX or not, and you've come to the conclusion that yes, UX design is actually something that you could imagine yourself working in, then it's time to take a deeper dive into what UX design exactly is, what the methods and the processes are that make up the toolkit of a UX designer. Now, there are many different articles and websites and whatnot that you can follow, that you can read through when it comes to the UX methods and the processes. I've linked all of them on the end of the presentation. For time's sake, I'm not going to go and dive deeper into that. You can do that on your own time. But what I want to give with you here is that it's not only important to look into the design methods and processes that are specific to UX design, but also realize that our discipline lives in a bigger context. When we're working in a company, we're not only doing what we want or working the way that we want to work, but we're working together with many different people. And then it also really helps when you understand that bigger context. And what I wish I learned earlier, and what I would really encourage you to do, is that you already start looking into product development frameworks. So how is it that a company develops software or apps? How do they build their products? And there are different ways of working, different frameworks that companies utilize to bring an idea out on the market. And for example, you can start looking into agile frameworks or waterfall frameworks. You will hear these two terms a lot when you start working in UX design, because those are two very known frameworks of how people build things and how they bring products onto the market. And apart from that, I would also, of course, familiarize yourself with design thinking processes, with methods that are linked to the design thinking process. And for that, I've taken this illustration from the website from IDEO. IDEO is an important company that played a big role into popularizing design thinking and bringing design thinking to the bigger audience. And they say that design thinking lives in the intersection of what is desirable, viable, and feasible. And that is exactly also the balance that a UX designer tries to find. So desirable, of course, is what we're building, something that our customers or our users actually want. But finding out what your users want is not enough. You also have to make sure that what you build is in the end still profitable, that you can cover the cost, that it makes sense for the business to build something. And that is what we mean with viable. It's not only something that we want, but can we also does it make sense for the company to build this? And then lastly, it's not only about do we want it as a user and a company, but also can we build it? And that's what we talk about when we talk about feasibility. So is this technologically possible, the solutions that we're thinking about? So that is the intersection of UX design. That's where UX design lives. And if you start thinking about becoming a UX designer, you will find this diagram or some kind of variant of it a lot more during your studies. And it's always good to keep that in the back of your mind, because it teaches you the three areas that you need to focus on during your UX studies. On the one hand, desirability. So how can we find out what our users want and need? But also think about the business component and think about the technological component. Those are also very important when you're working as a UX designer.